they're null and void. You have to include in the will that I have made some nomination with my employers, and I abide by same. So in that nomination, if your wife has been given 60% there, definitely that's what you are catering for. You have to avoid that duplicity where you know you have done nomination with CSIR and in third round come to do something contrary to. So that's your personal choice. Anyway, you are come to do a will. So you can say, well, already with my employers, I've done this nomination there. Those ones you.
Mr. Chairman, members of CSIR Research Staff Association, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to present a report of the independent auditors to the members of CSIR Research Staff Association National on the financial statements for the year ended 31st October 2020. Our opinion. We have audited the financial statements of CSIR Research Staff Association, which comprises the statement of financial position as at 31st October 2020 and the statements of comprehensive incomes, changes in equity for the year ended, and the notes to the financial statements as set out on the pages read to you earlier. In our opinion, the financial statement gives a true and fair view of the financial position of the association as at 31st October 2020 and of its financial performance for the year ended in accordance with IPSA, International Public Sector Accounting Standards. Basis of our opinion, we conducted our audit in accordance with International Standards of Auditing, that is IPSA. Our responsibilities under these standards are further described in the auditor's responsibility for the audit of the financial statements section of our report. An audit includes examination on a test basis of evidence relevant to amounts and disclosures in the financial statements. It also includes an assessment of significant estimates and judgments made by executives in the preparation of the financial statements, and of whether the accounting policies are appropriate to the association circumstances and adequately disclosed. We planned and performed our audit so as to obtain all the information and explanations which we required in order to provide us with sufficient evidence to give reasonable assurance that the financial statements are free from material misstatements, whether caused by fraud or other irregularities or errors. We believe that the audit evidence we obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide the basis for our opinion. Executive responsibility for the financial statements. That is the executive who are supposed to prepare the accounts, and we as auditors, we come to audit. It's not the duty of the auditors to prepare the accounts. The executives are responsible for the preparation of the financial statements. That gives a true and fair view in accordance with International Public Sector Accounting Standards and in a manner required by the Constitution of the Association, for which internal controls, as executives determined, are necessary to enable the preparation of the financial statements that are free from material misstatements due to fraud or errors, and for maintaining adequate accounting records and an effective system of risk management. In preparing the financial statements, the executive is responsible for assessing the association's ability to continue on the going concern. When we say going concern, means you assume that the association will continue forever. It's not going to be them. And using the going concern basis of accounting, unless members have reasons to believe that the association will not be a going concern in the years to come. That is when we were having this, we saw that no. This, when you look at research staff, your association, you have to get some, because your money is growing. So at least you should get people, you should engage someone with accounting background to help in the preparation of the association. Because when you look at it, your equity alone is almost 700 plus. So it's something. So you should get somebody who will also help you in the preparation of the accounts. Then And auditor's responsibility for the audit of the financial statement. It is our responsibility to form an independent opinion based on our audit on the financial statements and to report our opinion thereon. Our objectives are to obtain reasonable assurance about whether the financial statements as a whole are free from misstatements, whether due to fraud or error, and to issue an auditor's report that includes our opinion. Reasonable assurance is higher level of assurance, but it's not a guarantee that an audit conducted in accordance with international standards of auditing will always detect a material misstatement when it exists. That is where you have two people who connive and collude. No amount of audit can detect. That is the import of that. Misstatements can arise from fraud or error and are considered material. If individuals or in the aggregate could reasonably be expected to influence the economic decision of users on the basis of this financial statement. In accordance with CSIR, we exercise professional judgment and maintain professional skepticism throughout our audit, obtain an understanding of internal controls relevant to our audit in order to design audit procedures and that are appropriate in the circumstance, but not for purpose of expressing an opinion on the effectiveness of the association's internal controls, and evaluate the appropriateness of accounting policies used and reasonableness of accounting estimates and related disclosures. In conclusion, we confirm that in carrying out our audit, we obtain all the information and explanations which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purpose of our audit. 2. In our opinion, proper books of accounts have been kept so far as appear from our examination of those books. 3. The statements of financial position and comprehensive income statements are in agreement with the accounting records and returns. Wow. In the course of our audit, we saw that the financial year of the association needs to be reviewed. Why am I saying so? I'm saying so in the sense that some of the dues were not reported in the financial statement as read to you. September returns have not been received. Secondly, once your money is growing, you should have what we call accounting policy. The accounting policy will guide you how to go about some of the okay, we have 3 or 4 people who will sign the checks. How much is expected to be taken from the accounts? Because once the money is growing, and if you don't take time and you get 2 people who are not faithful, I'm afraid you'll come back and say, so we hope that you adopt, as we will be going for your meetings, the members adopt the accounting policy that will be presented, and you look at the period you also have in doing your AGM, so that you can consolidate most of the items in the near future. Thank you.
So that is the presentation. At this time, I would like to ask for someone to move for the adoption or acceptance of the statement that was read to us. And following that, we would follow up with discussions if there are any. And Mr. Boateng will be here to assist to answer any question. Thank you. And this time we are waiting for you, colleagues.
I, Theophilus Annan, moved for the acceptance of our audited report.
Thank you. And it will be seconded by?
I, Mohammed Abubakar, seconds the motion.
Thank you. So at this time, we want to open the floor for discussion. If you have any questions, comments, if you want to seek clarification, this is the time to do so. Yes, please.
I'm Mary Otiwa Oseasanti. My question is on the receivables and on AGM dues from locals, that's 8A. I could see OPRI and PGRI paid 10 cedis each. I need explanations because when the secretary was made us aware that we need 50 cedis, even if one person is supposed to pay. He pays 50 cedis to the national. So I need further clarification on that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your question. These figures here are the remainder of the debt that the institute have started settling. So if you have for PGRI 10 cedis here, it means that you've settled your debt with the RSA and it's left with 10 cedis. So the receivables are monies that are expected to be paid to the national coffers. So you know we institute accrued debt over the years from the organization of AGMs, and you have agreed on a payment plan. So what figure you see here is the amount left to be paid by this institute. So if you don't see any institute here, it means that institute does not owe. So that's the explanation.
Then I would ask, what is the plan to take the other payments if I should upload PGRI and OPRI?
Okay, so like I indicated earlier, there is an amount of money that the institute pay every month. So before I send you your remittances, I deduct that amount from it. So this is what you've been doing since we took office, even from our predecessors. So that's the plan. The plan exists. Every institute has an amount that they are paying to settle the debt. Some are paying 200 cedis, some are paying 300 cedis, depending on the strength of the institute. So if you want the details, I can send it to you. You could even contact your local executives because they have the information.
$17,000. That is CRI, my own crop research. What is your plan to take that money?
That is exactly what he has explained. Please, it is not a promise to pay. What happened was that our predecessors had a meeting with each institute that is owing, and it was agreed with them that you will need to agree on an amount that you'll be able to pay to settle that debt and still have enough for your association to run. So each institute agreed on a certain amount. So yes, it's a plan, but it's a plan that is being implemented. So each month, any institute that is owing has a fixed amount that they pay, and that amount was agreed between the institute and NEC. So when we took over, all we are doing is that we are just deducting that at source, and the remainder is sent to you. So over a period of time, the institute will gradually be disappearing depending on how much you pay each month and how long it will take you to pay. So those are the receivables. That is money that we are expecting from the various local associations. Any other? Yes, Mr. Kumi.
We thank God for how far He has brought the situation. I could see that as we begin to get money, our expenditures also getting to get bigger and bigger. This is just by the way. I want to know from our treasurer. The auditor made a recommendation that because our incomes are becoming bigger and bigger, we need somebody who have an accounting background. I could see from note 4C that 400 cedis was paid to people to assist accounting assistants as a honorarium. What is your take on that? Do you think that we need an accounting person aside a treasurer to assist you in your accounting? That's what I'm asking. Thank you. Because already you are paying some honorarium to people to assist you, and the auditor has also observed that we actually need is an indication that there might be a problem with we as scientists trying to be financial managers ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll answer this question. When we took over and we noticed that, yes, our treasurer, and indeed none of us had the accounting background, and we noticed that it is important that we do the accounting in a professional way. So NEC, the executives agreed and informed NEC that we will want to test run this. And so we engaged a professional accounting assistant to assist us. So if you look at the account that was sent to all of us, it was not prepared by the treasurer or NEC. He assisted, but we have a lot of assistants and we're taking through training. So yes, NEC agrees that we need somebody like that wherever the presidency will go. However, we cannot continue to do that without approval from AGM. So during the financial policy discussion after the break, we'll go into that. But we will strongly agree that urge members to agree that perhaps we are not at a stage where we can have a permanent staff doing that. But each institute may have an accounting assistant that they can designate to assist wherever the presidency and the treasurer go, so that they will be able to assist us. What we have started now, we don't want it to be just, want it to continue, so that we'll keep proper books and proper accounting procedure following our, or with guiding the use of our financial resources. So our point is that we'll urge you, when we get there and you see the importance, maybe we should all agree, and moving forward, that should be the way to go. If there are no further comments, questions, clarification, we would want to thank the National Treasurer. We also want to thank Mr. Boatin, the auditor, for auditing our work and also joining us to do the presentation. At this stage, we would want to have a break and then come back after 20 minutes so that we go into the discussion of the Constitution, the financial policy, and the presentation for the 2021 AGM. So let's have a break for 20 minutes. Thank you. Please, there are two announcements I forgot. The first one is that there's a photo shoot at the foyer. If you want to do it, it's free. But if you want to get it printed, then there's a fee. And we'll ask all the local presidents and all secretaries to go to where the registration desk is and pick the souvenir for your various institutes. So the president and the secretaries could go there and pick your souvenir for the local institute. Thank you. Hello, please, we have fruits outside. So if you want to have fruit during the break, we can go outside for the fruit.
Adisia wa hiyo na kwatetia kwankwaso atumfo wa hi ena kwa eye dede adenti na mama ibusa se minya nkopon wa hi osaje for sorry hey sorry na kika wo nema matamfo if it's a wolf, I will want. A time for Riasi. Sabo, Kikawa one. Konya Nara Papa. Hey, Sabo, Kikawa one. A time for Riasi. Sabo, Kikawa one. Wanina Rajan, Nikana, Wahona. So tonight, while Sanctuary Nyankopon is here, One, a two, a three,
Good morning, viewers. You are welcome to CSIR TV, your number one online TV platform. I am Dr. Jonas Osei Edu, the General Manager for CSIR TV. CSIR TV is basically an online TV that hopes to bring our viewers close to us and to be able to provide information on research and development.
It's a TV station the Institute has decided to set up because we believe that there are so many things we've done, so many technologies we have developed that the public are not aware.
This is a channel that aims at covering the various research works that have been conducted by the various research institutes under CSIR, so that the general public will appreciate all that we've been doing in the past years.
Over the years, we have been chastised for the fact that most of our research findings are not readily available to industry. And it is by this reason that we've come up with CSIR TV.
We do so many things that people attribute to other institutes, and we think that it's time we tell our own story.
The name is CSIR TV, but I must say it's not going to show only things from CSIR. It is going to showcase the entire CSIR, that is Council for Scientific and Industrial Research. We will also show content beyond CSIR, from the universities, from other private research institutions. As far as its research and development, you can trust that CSIR TV will be there to cover.
And that the research works will not be kept or left on the shelves, but for a better implementation. And this is also for a better determination for development. So that is research for development. So our tagline is beyond the research.
I'm sure you've heard about CSIR, CRI, and you know that we are a research-based agricultural institute. What you may not know is the numerous activities we partake in.
Now, there are a lot of programs that have been designed to capture every race, every category of the general public, and there is one which is focused on women of science. This program is focusing, or will be focusing, on women who are in science, who are in research, who are in technology, everything science, and are in the academia too.
We have designed this program, the project, which will seek to bring the scientists to you?
We want to celebrate women. We know women approach everything holistically, whether they have had formal education or not. Ladies and gentlemen, let's celebrate the superhuman of our time in science.
They will be here, be interviewed, and they will show forth exactly what they are doing. Scientists from our various divisions who work on our various mandates crops will come up here and be interviewed. They will show you all the technologies they have developed from the beginning of their projects till now.
Another program which any TV channel or any media would feature is news. Our news is what you will be experiencing like never before. CRI TV News will update you on the various happenings in the world concerning science, agriculture, everything. Now, we'll be featuring on our news commodity index, prices on the agro market, etc. and etc. So expect news like never before. CRI TV News for you.
One other program we want to bring you is what we call the Young Agripreneur. What the Young Agripreneur will seek to do is to speak with all these young people, find out why they decided to go into that particular part of the industry, what their challenges are, and what they have to say to other young people who may not be too interested in agriculture.
On this note, I wish to say thank you to the Director of Crop Research Institute, Professor M.B. Muchian, for the enormous support in making sure that CRI TV becomes a reality. We are grateful, Prof, and we hope you continue to support us so that CRI TV will graduate from being online into free to air. We are also grateful to the people who actually nurtured the idea of having CRI TV, and we are grateful to them. They don't want their names to be mentioned, but God knows them, and forever we are grateful for this wonderful idea. Thank you very much, and stay tuned. CRI TV, beyond the research. Thank you. Good morning, viewers. You are welcome to CRI TV, your number one online TV platform. I am Dr. Jonas Osei Edu, the General Manager for CRI TV. CRI TV is basically an online TV that hopes to bring our viewers close to us and to be able to provide information on research and development.
It's a TV station the Institute has decided to set up because we believe that there are so many things we've done, so many technologies we have developed that the public are not aware.
This is a channel that aims at covering the various research works that have been conducted by the various research institutes and the CSIR. so that the general public will appreciate all that we've been doing in the past years.
Over the years, we have been chastised for the fact that most of our research findings are not readily available to industry. And it is by this reason that we've come up with CRI TV.
We do so many things that people attribute to other institutes, and we think that it's time we tell our own story.
The name is CRI TV, but I must say it's not going to show only things from CRI. It is going to showcase the entire CSIR, that is Council for Scientific and Industrial Research. We will also show content beyond CSIR, from the universities, from other private research institutions. As far as its research and development, you can trust that CRI TV will be there to cover.
And that the research works will not be kept or left on the shelves, but for a better implementation. And this is also for a better determination for development. So that is research for development. So our tagline is beyond the research.
I'm sure you've heard about CSIR, CRI, and you know that we are a research-based agricultural institute. What you may not know is the numerous activities we partake in.
Now, there are a lot of programs that have been designed to capture every race, every category of the general public, and there is one which is focused on women of science. This program is focusing, or will be focusing, on women who are in science, who are in research, who are in technology, everything science, and are in the academia too.
We have designed this program, the project, which will seek to bring the scientists to you.
We want to celebrate women. We know women approach everything holistically, whether they have had formal education or not. Ladies and gentlemen, let's celebrate the superhuman of our time in science.
They will be here, be interviewed, and they will show forth exactly what they are doing. Scientists from our various divisions who work on our various mandates crops will come up here and be interviewed. They will show you all the technologies they have developed from the beginning of their projects till now.
Another program which any TV channel or any media would feature is news. Our news is what you will be experiencing like never before. CRI TV News will update you on the various happenings in the world concerning science, agriculture, everything. Now, we'll be featuring on our news commodity index, prices on the agro market, etc. and etc. So expect news like never before. CRI TV News for you.
One other program we want to bring you is what we call the Young Agripreneur. What the Young Agripreneur will seek to do is to speak with all these young people, find out why they decided to go into that particular part of the industry, what their challenges are, and what they have to say to other young people who may not be too interested in agriculture.
On this note, I wish to say thank you to the Director of Crop Research Institute, Professor M.B. Muchian, for the enormous support in making sure that CRI TV becomes a reality. We are grateful, Prof, and we hope you continue to support us so that CRI TV will graduate from being online into free to air. We are also grateful to the people who actually nurtured the idea of having CRI TV, and we are grateful to them. They don't want their names to be mentioned, but God knows them. And forever, we are grateful for this wonderful idea. Thank you very much, and stay tuned. CRI TV, beyond the research. Thank you.
Hello. Hello. I would like to welcome you back from the break. It seems that we really miss the interactions that we've been having, but we have to continue because of time. On the program, we are now at a crucial point where we need to have some discussions concerning our constitution. Then we'll also present to you some proposals on the financial situation, and then we'll have a presentation from STEPRI concerning next year's AGM. We all agreed that we are at a time that we need to revise our constitution. And so the new administration decided that based on the numerous calls for revision that we're receiving from members, we'll take the initiative to do the revision. And we have gone through the revision. A committee was appointed to lead it with members from both the northern zone and then the southern zone. The committee presented their report. Several review processes took place, and then they revised the document. The revised document was sent to the various local associations as well as the zonal associations for a thorough discussion. And finally, again, let me say that we received input. And finally, a final revised constitution has been given to us. So what we're going to do now is that we are first of all I'm going to make a presentation, a brief presentation of the Constitution, the revised Constitution to you. And then we'll try to, as it were, quickly go through finally to see if we all agree. And we could still make some adjustments, some edits here and there, so that when we accept it, we will put it in a format that is good for implementation. So first of all, the previous constitution did not have a vision and a mission. And the new one, the committee has proposed that we'll have a vision and a mission that will guide the association as we go on. So they have provided that. And they have also provided for some edits. As it were, the association has outlived some of the provisions that were given in the Constitution. The membership, for example, has been expanded, and the various positions of the association has also been now well defined to capture what the current situation is. And a critical one, for example, had to do with the consultative group, which was not mentioned in the earlier constitution, but we all agree that CG was very critical and important to the success of our meeting. And this has also been captured. The zonal executives, the local executives have all been redefined, and specific duties for each of the positions have also been amended or have been refined. And in areas where they were not, the new ones have also been defined for them. Some revisions have also been made to our elections and appointment. We all know that every year there is a new election. But for a long time now, we have only changed executives every 2 years. And we have made, for this time, we have also included in this constitution that provision. So, for example, we have suggested that members should agree that every executive will have 2 years with no possibility of re-election. So when you are elected, the new executives, you go for 2 years, and the next, after the 2 years, the new executives will take over. That has also been captured. So basically, this is what has been done to the presentation. So this is the revised constitution that the committee has submitted. And I must say that a number of the comments, edits that came from the various institutes have been captured. What we have not, the small changes that you may notice in the presentation by the National Secretary, is that we have adjusted slightly the payments made to the zonals. This is not reflected in the constitution because that was something that they have given, the local institute agreed to give to the zones to strengthen them. So it's not a constitutional provision. And for that, we still think that we would maintain what is in the constitution for now until such a time that we see the need to make that changes into the constitution. So, colleagues, that is basically the revised constitution. So for now, if you would agree, I'm sure you all have it, or majority of us would have it on our phones, tablets, on our computers. I will quickly want to go through and try to see if we can project so that we would see what we are capturing. And if there is a quick comment based on what we have done at our local institutions, in the next few minutes we'll try to see if we can project. Please, as we go through, you may see that there are some editing work required. We may take those corrections, but that should not be the key focus. We want to look at the substance of the articles and the intents, whether it captures something that, or the points that we really want. Okay, so we want to start from the vision. The preamble is given, and the vision to promote a committee proposed 5. These are not entirely new. It's just some additional revisions to what was already there. The first one is seeking improvement in general welfare of RSC members, foster good relation among RSC members, promote interest in all fields of research within the CSIR, promote effective liaison with the governing body of the council, and also establish effective channels of communication with government and on matters of scientific and national interest. So that is the aim of the association. The structure, Article 3, is given. Now, the membership. Membership shall be open to all research staff within the CSIR, and all who subscribe hereby qualify and shall be taken to be members. And there shall be kept a register in which name and addresses of all members shall be recorded. So that is the issue with respect to membership. The officers have not changed. It is still the current one. Please look at 5.14. This is what the committee is proposing, but NEC would also want to make a modification, and after which members will tell us which one you think we should adopt. The committee is giving us 2 options. National officers, and here the national officers refer to those that we elect at our AGMs. And they say that they shall hold office for 2 years and shall be eligible for re-election for another 2 years with a maximum of 4 years, or 1 term of 3 years only and shall not be eligible for election. We looked at their recommendation, and we think that we should modify this to say that the national officer shall hold office for 2 years and shall not be eligible for re-election. So at this stage, we want to see or hear from you so that we accept it, we do the corrections, and we will not come back here. Yes, please. James. Dr. Adamako, the microphone.
So that it can be rolled over to another, some people to also take part in that position, because 4 years in a lifetime of research science association is too much to be given to one person. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam. You second. So please, is there any objection to that? Do we all agree? For the avoidance of doubt, please, can we have show by hands those who support that 2 years non-renewable? Thank you. So show by hands if you object. Thank you. So we will make that amendment and then we will move on. So the rest are almost the same as in the current one. The zonal groups are there. They are also having their executives. The zones, do we agree that they can go for 4 years, or they should also be 2 years? So the zones 2 years. Any objection? Dr. Cry?
The lawyer will say, I beg to differ because it's one zone. So nothing settled. If you give it 2 years, sometimes it's even difficult to get leaders in the zone. So let's look at that one. If we can make it 3 or 4 years, it will help. But if we still stand by the 2, good. But
please, when you have the microphone, you mention your name so that...
Yes, thank you. My name is Abdul Razak from Sari. I bit 2 years, and my reason being that now that it has now increased the number of scientists or RSA members in various institutes. So the fact that sometimes we are not able to get leaders might not hold in this respect. So I think that 2 years is okay. Thank you.
Please, so you support 2 years?
Thank you. I also support same 2 years, but those executives can qualify for another term. So it's not only 2 years, but can qualify for 2 more terms or for another term. Yeah.
That is
one
what
more
we are
term,
discussing.
so it should be like 4 years, but 2 years renewable. But you have to submit yourself for re-election.
So that is the point. We have agreed that it's 2 years per term. But the issue now, can they stand again or not?
Thank you very much. Have one for our. We don't have one constitution for the national executive and another constitution for the zonal, another constitution for the institutions. A constitution, RSA. If the term of office is 2 years, non-renewable, then 2 years for the national, 2 years for the zone, and 2 years constitution. Whatever we put here, we cannot write something else for the other sectors. Thank you.
That is true. However, in some situations, because of the fact that we are dealing with 13 different institutes, it becomes a bit necessary to have an adjusted bylaw, not a constitution, a bylaw that applies within the local setting. But I get your point. The term would be 2 years. Michael.
I think it's going to be a problem for some of us. South Sector last week just held an election. The current executives were willing to hand over, but we forced them they should continue because even at the election, people didn't even come for the meeting. So that if we are saying a maximum of 2 terms not renewable, and their term expires, and we go for election, nobody comes. So the place will be left vacant. What do we do? Because the current president wanted to hand over. We didn't get anybody. We forced him to continue for another term. You understand?
Okay.
Thank you.
So we'll listen to another comment. Joe, please bring the comment.
Thank you, sir. This is Yayira Afram. We cannot hold the same constitution for the national and then the locals. For the locals, they need to be a backup for the national. So we call something institutional memories. So the locals could get a second term so that it becomes the knowledge reservoir for the national. Because if they're all running just 2 to 3 years, a time will come, there will be confusion in the system. So the locals need to serve as a backup so they can go 2 terms, which is 4 years, to support the national. Thank you.
Thank you. Please, may I Okay, please let's listen to Joe. The chairman of the review committee. No?
Yeah, thank you, Presido. The question is, what is creating the problem for us not to get the people? We are trying to move RSA forward. That is why we decided to review the constitution to meet the order of the day. So I think we need to address the challenge that is not allowing people to present themselves for election. Then all these things will be solved. Thank you.
Thank you. So we will try to do that. I mean, we need to waive the interest of members. However, I was going to say that, please, we know that this is the parent constitution. If you have a bylaw that goes contrary to what we are discussing now, which is in direct conflict, this one will prevail. But still, this gives room for some bylaws and amendments at the local level. Would we agree, because of time, that let's go back to the zones and let the zones take a decision and tell us so that we would put it here? Would that be an option, or you think that we should do it now? Ibrahim.
Ibrahim Kwame Asante.
Yes.
I would humbly suggest that we do not tie our hands behind our backs and do have that open sort of system that after the 2 terms, should we have someone who is very good and the person wants to still go, there should be that allowance. If we say you can't go anymore, then we may have a situation where there will be a jeopardy, where we have very good candidates who could have served us well, but because the constitution says they can't go, then we may substitute them with not so good candidates to our own detriment. So let's have it open. If they don't want to go, fine. But should we need them to go, like the southern sector zone, then we'd have the chance to let them go. So let's have it open.
Okay, thank you. So at this point, I want to say that let's put it to a vote. Strictly like the national executive, 2 years non-renewable. At the zones, please let's show by hand those who support that. 2 years, you can't go again. So if the scenario for the southern zone happens, you will stay there until you call somebody to accept. Please show by hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let me hire a lawyer, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Those who say that let's leave it open, you have 2 years, but you can go for another 2 years. Show by hand, please. All right. It's acceptable. So it is open. You can go for another. When it comes to the zones and at the institutional level too, we'll leave it like that. It is open. You can go. The next section's articles talk about the various duties of the elected officers. Now, another critical point where we need, yes.
After 2 years, there will not be election. The person wants to continue, or there will be election.
No, there will be election.
Yeah, there will be election. Yeah.
It is not automatic, but they have the opportunity to contest for a re-election. If members do not agree, they are out. Yes. Yes. Twice. So you can go for re-election for 2 years. Okay. Yes, maximum 4 years. Okay. Zone and local, not national. Please go to Article 11.1. 11.1. So 11.14 here would also be adjusted to reflect what we have just captured. So we would, Dr. Lampoma, please note that 11.14 will be revised to capture what we have just discussed. Please, we want to mention that those of us or those of our members following us on Zoom, if you want to make an input, we'll still capture you. So you can raise your hand and then we will let you make your inputs. Thank you. All elected officers of the association at the national level will have to include national level, shall hold office for 2 years and shall not be eligible for re-election. Yes, Mr.
They are eligible for any position.
Please, are you referring to 11.1?
Yes. 11.1I.
Okay.
So the eligibility for holding an office in the RSA is fully paid members. Any office.
That is the first point. Then as we go on, we define it.
Yes, but you know, before now, the positions of the president is there.
Yes, number 6. So the first one is that you have to be a fully paid member. So it's just like a criteria. As you go along, you assess yourself and you see that the last men standing or the last women standing are the ones who can contest. Okay. Please, we're just going through fast because for some of them, they are the same as the current one. And because of time, we just want to highlight the key ones that we have revised. And you still have it on your tablet, so if you want to ask a question, you could do so.
Good evening. My name is Franz Alex from Water Research Institute. Point number IV says all elected officers of the association shall hold office for 2 years and be eligible for re-election for another 2 years. I believe that will have to be updated based on the suggestion that we just made. Sorry, is it and will not? Okay, well.
No, we just corrected that. So you do not have that, but that is what we just corrected.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you. Please, let's have a look at 11.2 to see if we agree. 11.21. Electoral committee shall be independent of the National Executive Council, zonal and institutional executive committees. Members of the electoral committee shall be appointed by president at the various levels of the association and rectified by 2/3 of members to be deemed valid. Members shall serve a non-renewable tenure of 4 years and shall not be eligible for reappointment. Electoral committee shall be chaired by a member not below the rank of senior research scientist. Do we agree? Yes.
Papa Tuyan from Food. So the last point, does it apply to local ECs? Or is just for the national EC, where the chair should be of a senior research scientist grade?
This is strictly for the national. The locals do not have to go by this.
Okay. Okay. I'm asking because I saw
Not
electoral
below.
committee.
Yes. I get. Mr. Santi.
Your Excellency, Dr. President, I think the zonals and the locals adduce their powers from the national. Yes. Correct me if I'm wrong. If so, then would it not be prudent to say that once we put anything in the national constitution, then the zonals and the locals may directly infer that, okay, even the national constitution says the person cannot tell if he's not senior research scientist.
It's possible. The challenge that for some institute, then they can never have an electoral commissioner. So that's why we don't want to, but they will follow the same procedure in selecting who serves on the board and appoint maybe a senior most among the research scientists or RSC members to be on the committee.
So does that not negate that point?
Not necessarily. That is why I said that if there is any bylaw point that is in sharp contrast, then the constitution will prevail. But within the framework, we can still have bylaws that we allow because of the nature of the association. We all do not have the same number of scientists or grades within the association, and that is why we allow for some flexibility. Yes. Dr. Pedro.
Or even at the national level, whether we have bylaws. If it is not there, we have to be very careful. I have seen some of the points where we say, however, that is where it does not pertain to what is happening at the national level. So, for example, in this situation, we could also put, however, at the local and zonal level, this is what should happen. Since we don't have bylaws, but if we have the bylaws, then let us refer to the bylaws, or it will become a challenge tomorrow.
I agree, we should do that. But I also know that some local institutes have their bylaws that are derived from the constitution. Because, for example, if we were to say that this will strictly apply to all the local institutes, it will be a problem. But I get your point. We could include a phrase that makes provision for local circumstances. So we'll do that. And the option to have a bylaw is still open. It's still optional depending on the institution. Some institutes have already looked at this and formulated a local bylaw that is guiding them. But some will still derive their power directly, so we would include those phrases. If there is no objection to that, we will include it. Mr. Nikwe.
Constitution.
Yes.
So once that statement is there, then the institution can take from it. Thank you. I finished.
Yes. So I take it that is approved. Now I think we have two people on Zoom who would want to make comments or ask questions. If they can even type for you to read, or if
Hello. Hello. Please come on, can I make my contribution?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Thank you very much. I'm Alhassan Nuhu Jimbani, caller from CSIR Sare. We thank God for what we are witnessing today. And congrats to you all. If I heard you right, Dr. President, regarding who becomes an electoral commissioner based on the criteria or the qualification of the person having to have a senior research scientist position. In my humble opinion, I suggest we drop issues of qualification when you are dealing with members of association are supposed to have equal rights, who are supposed to have equal voice, and who are also supposed to have equal opportunities to serve, and having to have a class institutions. The premise of constitutions always try as much as possible to this kind of writings, if I can put it that way. So what I want to suggest is let's not it's not everybody with the association who will have senior scientist qualification. So in giving equal rights and opportunities to everybody, you look at the minimum requirements, and you look at all constitutions. That is always so I suggest we drop that. It will be creating a class within an which is not there. And it's also not congruent to establish constitutions. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your contribution. So largely what he is suggesting is that we drop the qualification for the chair of the Electoral Commission being a senior or above.
Yes, yes, please.
Yes, please. Yes, please hold on. Yes. Oh. Okay. Okay. Yes, Mr. please. Hello, please, let's listen to the one on the floor. Thank you. Dr. Abequin, please speak if you can. Yes.
For me, the position of the electoral commissioner, why are we assigning the position to the electoral commissioner for 4 years? Why the 4 years? For me, I would want a situation where during elections, we just appoint electoral commissioner who has perhaps a minimum position of a senior research officer to oversee to the elections. At the point of having AGMs or having to elect some people. But because that position, if you should give it to somebody now for nearly 2 years, 4 years, he'll be redundant. And what will he be doing? So I would rather prefer a situation where it is a point of like we have come today and we are going to have elections. Then we appoint one with a better position of a senior research officer to oversee to the elections. And then that.
Okay, so just trying to answer some of the questions and to hello. Okay, let's listen to the point, the person on the Zoom also, and then we'll move on. Please, shall we? Then it means that it's maybe by mistake that's why his hands is up. Michael.
We appoint somebody who agree that the person is responsible and he's somebody who has a good integrity to be an election commissioner. Other than that, in fact, last week I was to be made an election commissioner. I said, please, this way I can't do it. they appointed me that should be, so we rather took Dr. Dia because it's not anything that's very competitive. If it's RSC president, that one I want to, I know at least. So look of you.
Michael, it is for the same reason that you have mentioned. That is why we need an electoral commissioner, because you were there and you refused it. So if we have not prepared, and at that time everybody is refusing, then we are shooting ourselves in the foot. Please, 11.2.2 talks about some of the work of the. Please, we are moving on. Please, we will come back. No, you. Please, I will call you when it is your turn. There are several points that have come up, and so I need to respond to it. You asked a question, we responded. Why do you want us to move on when we have not responded to others? No, but I have not concluded. Have I? I have not. So I think we need to let things take place orderly. So if you look at 11.2.2, the Electoral Commission, the duties that they have assigned is that they will have to vet potential nominees to determine their suitability or otherwise. They will have to adjudicate election-related matters. So I think that these are the reasons for which they suggested that we have an electoral commissioner. So let's be mindful of these things whilst we are making our submissions. Yes, please.
Okay, Franz Alex, Water Research once again. I've just been thinking about this, and I think we have to put in another clause which indicates that the Electoral Commission, not the commissioner, the Electoral Commission's tenure must be offset from the executives by 1 year, so that it doesn't appear as though when one set of executives come into power, then they are looking for the electoral commission, which is going to oversee their elections.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I'm Mohamed Abubakari from Stepri. I'm going back to the requirement as a senior research officer to be an EC. It seems most of the top positions in the RSA have become a reserve for senior research officers. What happens to the technologists amongst us? What is RSA doing to encourage them to aspire for positions? I don't see the duties of an EC here. I don't see what it is that a PT can do and can't do. And a senior colleague here raised the point of experience and whatever. Then experience.
Good morning, viewers. You are welcome to CRI TV, your #1 online TV platform. I am Dr. Jonas Osei Edu, the General Manager for CRI TV. CRI TV is basically an online TV that hopes to bring our viewers close to us and to be able to provide information on research and development.
It's a TV station the Institute has decided to set up because we believe that there are so many things we've done, so many technologies we have developed that the public are not aware.
This is a channel that aims at covering the various research works that have been conducted by the various research institutes and the CSIR, so that the general public will appreciate all that we've been doing in the past years.
Over the years, we have been chastised for the fact that most of our research findings are not readily available to industry. And it is by this reason that
but if we agree that we don't want it, let's focus on the issues now